While talking about the days that I register over here, usually the entries are normal, my normal concerns of a day-to-day life, what I did and what I want to do, or what am I doing right now. So really superficial. I do not register the things happening around. I don't know, there was this incident in Pahalgam which shook an entire Kashmir and the entire country, and because of this incident 27 innocent lives were taken and many are injured. They were innocent people who came to spend their holidays in Kashmir. Now it has broken the back of the tourism and also has labeled us Kashmiris as the terror mongers. There is a threat perception to the students studying outside and also to the people working or just spending holidays outside Kashmir in India. Now I was going through my YouTube feed and I came across this video of Palaki Sharma saying that India is exploring an options to strike back, to avenge this killing. Indus Water Treaty has been put on hold, and there are multiple options which India can explore, like surgical strike, which happened in past. Then the drone strike is another option, as India has expanded the drone capability. Land invasion can be yet another option, but they are talking about the war with the country, with the nuclear powered country, and it will not be same. So by blurting out these options, possibly an entire media is doing the same thing by provoking state and the people to create war between the two countries. What can be done is, this attack could have been prevented by having the security apparatus in place, and rather than going war with the countries, these elements can be eliminated. Pakistani embassy has been told to reduce the staff, and the army personnel in the embassy has been granted non-ex gratia status. That means they'll be having 2 weeks to leave the country, and Home Minister himself visited the spot where these people were killed, and there were cries of the people who were killed, and mostly the male members of the families were killed. This was an inhuman act with no parallels in present, past, or in future. However, there has been a huge backlash on internet against Kashmiris, Muslims, because there had been news saying that the people who were killing were asking about an identity, the name of a person, and even telling them to recite kalima. And and then there I came across with another short video in feeds which talked about the way Indian judiciary and the parliament works. What happens there was a recent bill passed on Waqf board wherein there were certain things which were controversial and created a huge debate. One of which was to produce documents of the worship places, the mosques across the country, in order to grant them a Waqf status. And the Supreme Court lashed out, how can it happen to the mosques that were built in 14th and to 17th century or prior to that? And also, why and how can you appoint non-Muslims in a board? So, in order to tackle that, the Supreme Court advocate representing the state went on the back foot saying that we'll put a stay on this and we're thinking about that. So the anchor of the channel says that this has been a pattern and an approach which the state are using. There's a difference between the state or the government putting stay on some law which they have already passed, and then the Supreme Court putting stay, because the stay of the Supreme Court has to be lifted by arguments and cannot be lifted like this. Now, as far as this is concerned, the stay provided by the government, it can always be amended without prior consideration or discussion. That's what they did in Article 371. They were told about granting statehood to Jammu and Kashmir. And then there was another law on which they went on the back foot, saying that we are thinking about this. But on both the occasions, nothing of that sort happened. They buy time, and that time is infinity. So it's a critical situation as far as the power tussle between Supreme Court and the government is concerned. Even during election commission case, there was something like this in which they said that we are going to do this and that. So, yep, that's it from today's podcast and a journal entry. I went to the place of Advocate Majid Zargar. He has aged 10 years in between these few days. An old weak man whom people were carrying on the shoulders. That's how he was. That's how I spotted him yesterday. But the man he was with the silver ash hair on his head, upright posture, and a loud voice. That is how he otherwise was, and people would avoid him because he was blunt and to the point by pointing out flaws. Then there was yet another short video which I saw was about aid to Gaza, which the humanitarian aid that has been stopped by Israel, and they are not allowing it, probably using starvation as a war weapon by killing an entire population, by inducing famine. There's a lot of bad things happening around the world. So I can only pray, and I cannot do anything else. So that's it from today's podcast. We'll meet again in the next. Till then, take care of yourself and take care of those who take care of you.